Comics Corner. We are back with Eerie number 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Footsteps of Frankenstein, One for the Money, Eye of the Beholder, Flame Fiend, Eerie's Monster Gallery, To Pay the Piper, and Vision of Evil, and Ahead of the Game. This is a little longer than the last one. Of course, we have a complete collection of horror and monster movies. And these, of course, were reels. So it's a little different. They didn't have VHS back then, guys. They didn't have DVD or Blu-ray or streaming. Nothing like that. You got big film reels. See, 1,000-foot reel, 400-foot reel. I mean, some of these movies I actually have, like The Vampire Bat, Terror of Dracula. I think I have Dr. Caligari. A lot of these movies are now open, well, they're public domain. Killer Gorilla. Man. Alright. Greetings, gremlins. Let's lift the lid on this first hysterical issue with a shock story that will leave you electrified. Get ready to be thrilled as piece by piece we assemble this tingler of a man who tried to follow in the footsteps of Frankenstein. Northern England, as the train whistle weather. Bleh. Alright. As the train whistle faded in the distance, Dr. Byron King suppressed a shiver and the notion he had somehow stepped backward into another century. He felt incredibly alone. Excuse me, I had expected to be met. Could you tell me where to find Dr. Sebastian? Amos Sebastian? Who? No, I don't know anything. Besides, we're closed. Slam! His footfalls echoing above the sound of rainwater in the cobblestone gutters, Dr. King made his way through the village seeking an open door, a friendly voice, warmth and light. Can any of you help me? I'm trying to locate Dr. Sebastian. Then it's the devil's business you're on. Well, not helping that. Get out. Should never have left London. If anyone but old Sebastian had sent for me, I'd have told them. What's this? They followed me from the pub. At him, lads! Show him what happens to his kind in this village. Blows rained on King from every side. His body sagged to the pavement and nausea swept through him. Flailing fists and stomping feet swirled about him. Then, oblivion. Dr. King stirred. He could no longer feel the rain or the wet cobblestone beneath him. His eyes, aching with the light, slowly brought things into focus. This is some kind of doctor's office. No, it's a laboratory. Part of an old castle, but outfitted with the latest equipment. And that breathing, heavy breathing. Good Lord, that thing! Byron, my boy, you've recovered. We've arrived just in time to stop those idiots. Superstitious rabble. Dr. Sebastian, you mean I was rescued by you and this monster? Not monster, Byron. Creation, my creation. Not yet perfect, but with your help. You've made a living creature? After years as my prized pupil, are you so amazed? The wonders of electronics, the skills of surgery, who could better apply them than me? It's like something out of Mary Shelley. How? After my retirement, I began experimenting. Electronic stimulation to brain cells, nervous system. For years, I worked with test animals, guinea pigs, monkeys. Then there was a terrible accident near the castle. I pulled 2 men from the wreckage, dead and mangled. Throughout the night, I worked feverishly sewing and grafting, welding the 2 into one whole. Working against time, I reconverted my equipment to handle the larger subject, then tingling with anticipation, I threw the switch. It worked. The result was not perfect. The charge had been weak and the brain was damaged. My creation could only function in a limited manner. Unfortunately, it was seen by the servants. They spread hysteria throughout the village. They're hostile fools, just like the medical board that forced me to retire. Now I can show them. No one ever doubted your brilliance, Doctor, but this, it's beyond the medical realm, beyond the human realm. Area's best left alone. Don't mouth the same drivel as those village louts. You're one of the few men with the same potential as myself. You taught me all I know, Dr. Sebastian. I'd do anything for you, but why unleash this subhuman thing on the world? Look at me. Look at this shriveled, dying body. Arthritic hands, limbs used up, but my mind still functions, works brilliantly. Your mind, you mean? In the next few weeks, Dr. King submerged himself into the notes and research of Amor Sebastian, letting volume of words... Oh, hold on. There's another... Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, guys. You can do it, Byron. Free my brain from this death house. Transfer it to the strong, durable body I've created. You can do it. I don't know. You've done the groundwork, perhaps. In the next few weeks, Dr. King submerged himself into the notes and research of Emil Sebastian, letting volume of words assert the influence his conscience would not. It can be done. You've lived up to all my hopes, Byron. With the new equipment, you can't fail. We can produce a strong enough current to prevent strength losses with your creation. A great mind preserved for the ages. Thunder, lightning, and driving rain lashing the night sky drew no attention from Byron King as his skilled surgeon's fingers guided his knife into the first phase of the operation. The thoughts and memories of Emil Sebastian were lifted from the dying shell body, transported across the laboratory, and deftly sewn into their new resting place. All surgery completed. Must get wiring into place. Final readings check out. All ready to go. Now. Here now? What's doing with them lights? You daft? There's a great bloody thunderstorm. No, it's not that. Up there, see the flashes at the castle? It's them doctors, up to more unholiness. They should be stopped. Aye, let's not sit here while they make monsters. Up to the castle. On the operating table, the monstrous form stirred, fingers twitched and moved, eyelids slowly opened. Byron, get these straps off. I'm alive. It worked. It worked. Open up. We've come for you. End the devilment. Open the doors. Open or we're breaking it down. The villagers attacking the castle. Those fools! I'll make an end to them just like that pair in the car. In the car, you got the two bodies by deliberately causing a wreck? That's murder. What anyone standing in my way deserves, from these villagers to the medical board, including you. Out of my way. Your puny weapons don't bother me. Nothing can. Ever. Unmindful of the lashing storm, the grotesque form lumbered off into the distance, bent on rage and destruction. Sebastian, come back. You can't. Nothing could stop me. Nothing! Nothing! Unmindful of the storm or the thunder or the lightning or the things which may attract it. The electrodes! Yeah! Dr. Byron King came running to a pile of smoldering ashes. A pile of ashes that contained the thoughts and memories, dreams and nightmares of Emil Sebastian. Pile of ashes already being blown and scattered by the wind. Ha ha! Old Doc Sebastian really made an ash of himself, eh, ghoulmates? Goes to show you, if you follow in someone's footsteps, better know where they're leading. I'm leading you to my next fright site. Watch your step. Well, so much for him. Okay. Cautiously, Vernon Hale inched his way along the cold stone wall, slowly descending the steps that led to the cellar of the huge mansion. Drifting up from below came his uncle's voice. At last, I'm going to find out why the old skinflint makes these midnight visits down here. Aborna, Astaroth, Imnala. What's that gibberish? Lord, Uncle Cornelius must be out of his skull. What does he think he's doing? Zimna Orgala, Fernoff Drub. It's like he's praying or chanting. This is insane. Onathal, Glandor, Fra, Orlet. There was a flash of flame, a sickening sulphurous reek pervaded the entire cellar, and Orleat! Speak of the devil and a demon appears. You'll be seeing a lot of him in this weirdy I've conjured up for you entitled One for the Money. Vernon clung in shock to the damp wall, pulse pounding in his veins, unable to believe what his eyes told him must be true. It was some kind of mystic incantation. But why? Why should the old man call up this demon? Oh, yet, you come again, no matter how much you hate me or any master you must serve. You'd like to tear me to pieces, wouldn't you, Orlet? But you know you can't reach me. The chalked lines of the pentagram keep you imprisoned. You cannot pass them. Now give me what I always want. Ha, 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 ha. Money, money, money. Now go. Zanfar, yapre, Aliet. That's how he got his money. And to think of the way the miserable old misers treated me. To think of it. Hot, angry memories raced through Vernon's mind, taking him back to his arrival at the home of this old man, now greedily gathering up the gold coins. Kill the fatted calf, Uncle Cornelius. Your prodigal nephew's return for a touch. So I need a little to tide me over. A few grand would do it. Not 1 red cent. You can't do this to me. I need that dough right away. You got plenty of bread. I don't know what kind of jam you've gotten into now, Vern, but I've bailed you out for the last time. I'm your nephew, your only heir, flat broke, no place to stay. I couldn't even scrape up change for a meal. Then stay here. You'll be out of trouble and you won't starve, but I won't trust you 5 minutes with any of my money. Vernon knew he had to accept, had to remain tied in that old mansion by his uncle's purse strings. As for being my heir, forget it. I intend to rewrite my will so you won't get a penny. Vernon's blood boiled angrily at the thoughts of his humiliation, propelling him forward from hiding. Now, Uncle, we'll see who cuts who off. Vern, what? Goodbye, Uncle Cornelius. Done. Better move him from here. The steps. I can fix things up there. Good. Looks as though the old boy had a fall in the dark. Isn't that too bad? No use letting this loot just lie here. Hey, what's this? Trembling with a vision of unlimited riches, Vernon raced through the ancient words of magic just as he had watched his uncle do it. Oh, hold on. It was, okay, so this was a little weird the way they did it. So, it says, this is where Uncle Cornelius learned the incantation. Why settle for just what's lying around when I can go to the source? Everything's already set up. And then, trembling with vision of unlimited riches, Vernon raced through the ancient words of magic just as he had watched his uncle do it. Oilette! Don't just stand there. You know what you can give me. Death! Don't con me, pal. The pentagram imprisons you. You can't do a thing. No, it's impossible. You can't. No, the lines of the pentagram. You can't cross them. Why did it hold you? Why? There was no time left for Vernon to question. He could only scream. There was not even time for a last look at the break rubbed in the chalk line of the pentagram. Oof. Rubbed in the very spot through which Vernon had dragged his uncle's body. Yeah! Judging from that scream, Fright fans, I'd say the chalk line isn't the only thing that got rubbed out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some reading to do. Just found a wonderful old book. Portable lets you show monster movies anywhere at any time. You would get an 8mm movie projector. $10. Look at that. Telltale Heart. The Beast with 5 Fingers. Peter Lord is best. Bela Lugosi of Dracula. Boris Karloff as the Mummy. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And these were all, movie reels that you'd pay for and you'd buy that thing. Interesting, right? That when you wanted to watch a movie back in the day, you'd actually put it on a projector? Like, you had your own movie theater, right? It's kind of weird. Look what they took from us. We can't have movie projectors anymore. Well, we can. You can still buy projectors. It's just not like they have at the... From what I'm aware, it's not like they have at the movie theater. Of course, they have digital stuff now anyway. With this shivering shocker, we inject a little love interest into the pulsating proceedings, all about a man who couldn't stand losing his beautiful wife. Of course, as the saying goes, beauty is all in the eye of the beholder. Why? Why did it have to happen to Eve? She was lovely, wonderful, everything to me. Why her? Why? Gerald, please, there's nothing you can do now. It's not fair. I don't want to lose her. Eve is too vibrant, too warm a person to be dead. I won't accept it. Gerald, I'm your friend and your doctor. Everything was done to save your wife. Everything within the realm of medicine and science. Medicine and science failed, Howard. But I won't let this be the end. There are things beyond that realm. Any realm. I'll find them. They won't fail. So for Gerald Lewis, the burial of his wife marked not the end, but the beginning. The beginning of a search that would take him into the dark corners and forbidden byways of life. But in the weeks that followed, he uncovered little more than frustration and anger. The small amount of patience Gerald began with vanished into wrath. Fake! You're just like all the others. There must be someone who's genuine. Who? Tell me! Tell me! Please, Mr. Lewis, let go, please. There is a man. I heard about him. Long time ago. From a name whispered in hoarse fear, Gerald took up the search with renewed hope, and after many inquiries found himself in an almost forgotten section of the city, mounting rickety stairs to a place of musty grimness. Mr. Lorenzo, I'm told you can do things many men claim are impossible. I've certain unusual abilities. How do you wish them applied? I want you to bring my wife back from the dead. You ask too much. Such a thing is better left undone. I'm a rich man and intend to make it worth your while. You haven't said you can't do it. It won't be easy. I need some time. Tomorrow. As soon as darkness fell the following night, Gerald returned to the eerie atmosphere of Lorenzo's dwelling, tense with expectation. You must understand, Mr. Lewis. My powers in these matters are limited. There is much beyond my control. It doesn't matter, so long as I have Eve back beautiful and alive as I remember her. So be it. Hear me, Eve. Hear me from beyond the grave. Cast off the earth imprisoning you. Arise! Strike at the timbers, claw at the dirt. Hear me calling and arise. Claw, strike, climb. Hear me, Eve, and arise. Arise! Did you... I can do no more. Leave. Go to your home. Gerald's heart was still pounding from the excitement of Lorenzo's effort, even though as he pushed open the door into the silent loneliness of his own home. Where are those blasted servants? Why didn't someone answer the door? They're gone, Gerald. I made them leave. The hair on the back of Gerald's neck tingled and a flush of warmth shot through him at the soft, rich voice he despaired of ever hearing again. Eve, it's really you. Lorenzo did it. You're really back. Yes, darling, yes. He held her close, absorbing the wonder of Eve warm and alive in his arms once more. Yet somewhere in the back of his mind was an uncomfortable stirring. You dismissed all the servants, darling? We don't need them, dearest. We have each other. The nagging faded as Gerald let his happiness over Eve's return surge through him completely. But in the night's small hours, his first peaceful slumber in weeks was severed by a call from Dr. Howard. Gerald, something horrible's happened. Police thought it best I tell you. Someone's dug up Eve's grave. The body's disappeared. A chill swept over Gerald and vanished as he gazed reassuringly at the peaceful form beside him, her long black hair spilling serenely over the pillow. Gerald, are you all right? Gerald? I'm fine, Howard. Tell them to forget about it. What? Gerald? It doesn't matter. I'm not concerned. Tell the police not to worry about it. He settled back into bed, comfortable in the knowledge Eve was beside him, and let himself be engulfed by sleep. Yet the following day, a commonplace event took on a strange new texture. Monty, what's the matter, boy? Stop that. That's funny, Eve. Hold on. That's funny, Eve. He used to love it when we came out to feed him. Then don't worry about it, darling. Maybe later he'll feel better. I'll see what I can do. The barking and howling continued unrelentingly throughout the day. Gerald was in the library when it suddenly hit a frenzied crescendo, followed by a terrible silence. I just came out to see if there was something I could do for him. Poor Monty, I don't understand, almost as though he died of fright. Eve retreated to tearful solitude. The first day of their reunion, and already a pallor of unhappiness was over them. Here's the flowers you ordered, Mr. Lewis. You gonna take 'em? No, you bring them to my wife. It's to be a surprise. He heard the door shut behind the delivery boy and waited in anticipation for the sound of Eve's delight at the gift. Yeah! No! Yeah! Eve, what's the matter? My God, the flowers, what's going on? What's happening? Why'd the boy act like that? Eve, come back here! Eve, darling, please stop. I'm sorry I shouted. It's just that I don't understand what's been happening. Neither do I, but it's all going so wrong. You should have left things alone, Gerald, as they were. No, darling, no! This is the way it should be, just as it is now, the two of us together, forever. Gerald pressed Eve close, holding her tightly. Then momentarily his gaze drifted upward, suddenly freezing on the mirror which hung on the bedroom door. Oh no, Lord, no! Gerald's screams rose with mounting horror through the room, but its piercing shrillness could not overcome the terrible realization of just how limited Lorenzo's powers had been. Working on Gerald's vision only, nothing else. Working on Gerald's vision only. Nothing else. Not even mirror reflections. Yeah! And you think vampires are troubled by mirrors while you're reflecting on Gerald's problem. Just think how rotten Eve must feel. All you ghoulish gourmets ready for this next torrid tale I've cooked up for you? To get the sizzler started with a bang, check out the incident below, which will soon bring you face to face with the Flame Fiend. Varoom! Great Scott, he just started the car and it burst into flames. How could a thing like that happen? Horrible accident. Yes, thanks to the thermite bomb I accidentally attached to poor old Henry's engine. Goodbye, partner. Get back! Get back! There's nothing anyone can do. He's trapped. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance for Henry Todd to blab to the law about the thousands I drained out of our business. Excuse me. We know that. Caught me. Then thought I'd make it up. The fool. John Murdoch was properly bereaved the following day when the police informed him of his partner's tragic death. The elation and triumph stayed well hidden within his thoughts. No one suspected a thing. I'm clear of any charges and own the entire business in the bargain. What the devil? Could swear the flame had the shape of nerves. Just nerves. Gotta get a hold of myself. Shouldn't have watched what happened to old Henry. Murdoch rushed to his apartment feeling cold and uneasy, desperate with the need to relax. Seems to be a chill about the place. Soothing fire's what I need. Chance to compose myself. Yes! Lord, it can't be. Henry Todd. Yes, John Murdoch. In flames I died, and in flames I live again. And in flames you, my killer, shall die too. Gotta keep back. Apparently I can't abandon the flames of the fireplace. Maybe. Cunning desperation came to Murdoch's aid. Salvation was not far behind him in a wall niche. Recognize this? Back, you fiend of flame! Back! You win for now, but I'll be back in every flame, fire, burning thing near you, until you share my fiery death. It can't. I won't let it. I'll outwit that flaming thing. All I have to do is avoid all flames. But to avoid flames meant many sacrifices, like giving up smoking and smokers. Don't light that, you fool. If you have to smoke, get out of here. All right, Murdoch, I'll get out and take my business with me. Familiar places became sudden pitfalls of danger, like his favorite French restaurant. But, monsieur, your dessert, the crêpe Suzette! And invitations had to be examined with extreme care. John, what's the matter? What's wrong with you? When you invited me for dinner, you didn't mention it would be a backyard barbecue. With all his precautions, flaming death would be constantly waiting to surprise him. Surprise! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Johnny! No! John, what are you doing? That's the martinis! You idiots! Out! All of you, out! Friends I don't need, not when my life is at stake. I won't be caught. I'll go where there are no flames to bother me. I'll escape that fiend. Hunting had always been Murdoch's favorite sport, and his isolated lodge in the North Woods seemed well removed from the common dangers of fire. No long-lasting flame comes from the rifle. No avenue for the flame fiend to use. I'm safe to bag a buck. Oh, starting to snow. Coming down faster. Getting colder, too. Can't risk a fire. Looks like the others are, though. Fire! Run for it! Fire! Campfire's out of control, spreading fast. No, these dry woods will go up like a tinderbox. Murdoch ran for his life through the fresh fallen snow, but no man could outrun the speed with which the icy wind whipped the fire through the dry forest and out of the raging inferno. The flame fiend! The forest fires made it a giant! Now, Murdoch, you're within my grasp. The agony of burning will seem eternal. You'll welcome death, as I did. No, gotta keep running. But Murdoch had not been running blindly. I'd done it. Reached the book. Outwitted the fiend. His body crashed through the thin coating of ice, submerging into the freezing waters, then bobbed up defiantly. You're beaten, Henry Todd. I can stay in here till the fire's burned out and you with it. I've won. Much later, 2 hunters found Murdoch huddled on the edge of the brook, his charred clothing still soaked with icy water. He's in bad shape. Better get him to a hospital fast. So cold. Water's so cold. Can't leave. Won't let him get me. I've won. But even antibiotics failed to quench the raging virus invasion within Murdoch's body. No use. We've done everything we can. He isn't coming out of it. Fever won't break. He's dying of pneumonia. He didn't get me. Even if I did die, I robbed the flame fiend of his revenge. Think, Murdoch. In flame you too shall die, I said. And you're burning up now. Burning up with fever. He. And the doctors wondered why Murdoch's dying breath was a loud scream. He was pretty hot under the collar about the flaming mess. Now for something really fiendish, try my next serving of shrieks. 2 feet tall, big Frankie monster kit. Giant-sized Frankenstein arms that move. We got more monster kits you can build. A witch, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and the Bride of Frankenstein. Only $1.49. Got a movie projector. This one's $30. A human skull, unbelievably real. $1.25. Gruesome skull cup, $3.50. Tired of the same old pictures around the house? Want something different in that blank spot? Well, grab your frames, fellow fiends, and hang up the first effort from Eerie's Monster Gallery. Number 1, werewolf. Under the beams of each full moon, victims of the werewolves or lycanthropic curse change into a fearful beast. A fearful beast, half man, half wolf. This condition is brought on either by a wound from another werewolf or a scratch from the wolfbane plant. Really? I didn't know that. Only weapons of silver, preferably a bullet in the heart, can kill this legendary monster. Remember the old fairy tale about the Pied Piper? Well, so did the villagers of Meingalt back in the 17th century Germany. And when they found themselves in a similar situation, they worked out a scheme to avoid having to pay the piper. Please, Burgermeister, don't do it. Not my daughter. She was always a good girl. It made no difference to those fiends. Would you have her become one? Or must you? It is the only way, or else tonight your daughter will rise again as a vampire. Thunk! My daughter! That's one monster that will never take wing. But there are so many more. The vampires are on us like a plague, multiplying faster than we can kill them. The village will soon be destroyed. What can we do? We can hurry home before the sun sets on us. There must be someone. It's no use. We've tried everything. Then you are ready for my help. Who? My name is Sandor, and I have the means to rid you of your village. To rid your village of vampires forever. Tonight. How? With this? Are you mad? Drive vampires off with a flute? Why not? Nothing else has worked. Let the poor fool try. I warn you, Burgermeister, my price is high. 1,000 gold marks. Anything you say, Piper, but don't depend on the vampires leaving you alive to collect. Unmindful of the night's terrible dangers, the gaunt man seated himself and began to play, sending a weird, haunting wail into the foreboding darkness. A sound so frightening it could almost work. What will you do? How can you pay him? There's nothing in the village treasury. It won't work. How can it? Sandor's music became wilder and more frenzied, and suddenly was joined by horrible screams echoing out of the night, rebounding and blending into the piping. And in the morning, scattered throughout the village area, was ample proof of the effectiveness of Sandor's playing. I know you're listening, Burgermeister. You have 1 hour to make good on your promise to pay. You won't like what happens if you fail. Why did we get involved with him? It's just like the legend of the Pied Piper. When the piper wasn't paid for ridding a village of rats, he played another tune and lured all the children away forever. What if we have an hour? Time enough to prepare if our piper does the same thing. The hour passed quickly, and Sandor reappeared exactly on time. You can't make us pay for a coincidence. Your playing had nothing to do with the vampire's destruction. Very well, now I'll pipe a different tune. He's taking the children away. Do something. Your own son is going away with them. We were prepared for this. A group of well-armed villagers have been sent to make sure the piper doesn't get far. He's taken them off the road, leading them on into the field, up on the hill. In the legend, the Pied Piper vanished into a mountain with all the children. Then we'd best end his playing before the same is done with the hill. Now! Twing! Thunk! Thunk! What have you done? It's no good to be rid of vampires at the cost of the children. Patience, ladies. Listen, in the distance it sounds like the children. They're all safe, scratched up from brambles and bushes, but safe. By nightfall, the village was full of rejoicing, and there was much for which to be happy. Safe, the children are back, and one can stroll in the moonlight with no fear of vampires. Safe. Suddenly, the safe night was rent with horrible sounds from every part of the village. Good Lord, what? The children! That field that the piper led them into. was full of wolfbane. Wolfbane? But that's the plant whose scratch turns a victim into a... Father! Oh, Father! Instinctively, the Burgermeister turned at the sound of the familiar voice. Werewolf! Hope you music lovers got a howl out of that ending. Personally, I think it was quite nice of Sandor to arrange a way of ripping up the debt. Speaking of debts, anyone want to buy a second-hand flute? Can be heard 5 miles. Real cannons. Good Lord. $5 plus 50 cents postage and handling. 9-inch, 17-inch, 25-inch. Yeah, these weren't really big cannons. The real rocket zooms high in the sky. 150-piece army set. 2 complete armies of 75 men each. Completely assembled and ready for use. Monster rings, 50 cents. Werewolf siren ring, 75 cents. Mysterious silent dog whistle. Only dogs can hear it. Feeling creepy? Visit creepyuniverse.com. That must have been added, because I know they didn't have websites back in the fucking 60s. Ants, real ones too, and their own ant farm. Oh wow, look at that. Remember ant farms? Gather round, all you patrons of the arts, black arts that is. I've got a mayhem masterpiece for you. Grab your paints and brushes for lesson 1 in petrifying painting, given by Conrad Archer, a man with a real vision of evil. Ghoulish, monstrous, gruesome, magnificent. For the first time in 10 years of art collecting, Simon Norton felt an excitement more thrilling than acquiring an old master this discovery. A vast new talent uncovered. Conrad Archer. The man has a genius for mood, depth vision, a fine feeling for the macabre and fantasy. My check, and I want to see any other works of Archer's that you've got on hand. It's the only one, Mr. Norton. We weren't at all sure about showing this one. It's so very frightening. Oh, this is art by Alex Toth. Give me just a minute. I've got to shut the door here. There we go. Then I'll deal with him myself. Where may I contract Archer? I'm checking, Mr. Norton. We don't seem to have any records on his... Wait, here's an address. This must be a mistake. It says Kingsford Asylum for the Insane. From Manhattan's plush art galleries, Norton drove hard and fast into the bylanes of New England until his headlights played on the gaunt iron gates of an aging Gothic structure. Why not an asylum? There's a fine line drawn between the worlds of genius and insanity. Take me to the director. I phoned earlier about Conrad Archer. Dr. Young's waiting, sir. Ooh, pardon. Dr. Young, you said I'd be allowed to meet Archer. May prove disappointing, except when painting he's completely withdrawn, in a trance. Art is his only therapy, yet his choice of subjects makes one wonder. Following Dr. Young from his office, Norton was led down dark, slimy steps to the old building's cellar. Strange place for a patient in this day and age. Archer insists on it. Of late, it's the only spot in which he'll work, regressing, I'm afraid. He just sits like that? Isn't he working? Oh, hold on. We're going a little faster than we need to. Here you are, Mr. Norton. Conrad Archer. He just sits like that? Isn't he working? He's muttered something last night about one more sitting. He hasn't stirred since claims this is his last painting. Nearly done, except for areas on that thing. Sheer genius, incredibly lifelike. But the demon's victim. Yes, he used himself. Fascinating psychological implications. The pity of it, all that talent, and from it only 2 paintings. Oh no. One more, his masterwork. It gave us problems too. Masterwork? I let him try a mural for the recreation room. Results were terrifying. Made our other patients hysterical. Had most of our staff uneasy too. I'm keeping the room locked until we get rid of it, for the health of our patients. Young, please hurry. Lord! I must have it at any cost. No, yeah! Came from the cellar. Archer! Empty. He must have escaped. Strange smell in the air, like ashes or like something burning. Gotta alert the guards. He couldn't have gotten off the grounds yet. Finished. Paint still wet. And dripping quite a lot on the floor. Beautiful shade of red. Deranged fantasies, and yet he makes them seem so alive. Come on, Norton. This is no place for you. We don't know what state Archer's running around in. Norton returned to the recreation room. Ignoring the hallway clamor of attendants, he moved close to the masterwork of Conrad Archer and pored over the technique and detail of the painting before him. Genius, such oh my God! Best keep this door locked until we found Archer, and I don't want any of our other patients popping in seeing that thing again. Can't think of where Archer might have... Norton, what is it? Look at it. Look at the detailing. Haven't you ever seen? No, how? Archer had never seen you. He couldn't. I don't know. Suddenly, unbelievably loud and strong, there was a beating on the huge doors behind them. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom! You can bet it was an opportunity knocking, haha. In buying Archer's painting, Mr. Norton really got took for keeps. If he'd stuck to pop art, he might have not had to pop off. Ha 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 ha. Any of you merry monster souvenir hunters? Sometimes it's best to leave things where you find them, as big game hunter Harry Black finds out when he tries to get ahead of the game. Blazes, an albino! Look at the size of that monster! What a prize! No, Bawani, don't shoot! I've emptied my rifle. He's not stopping. Kapow! Pow! Pow! Click! Do something. He'll kill me. Wait, he's dead. Took every round I had to kill him. Get this bleeding carcass off me. Bawani, you should not have killed this animal. Many believe a white gorilla is sacred. Don't hand me any mumbo-jumbo. This is a prize kill. Makes this lousy safari worthwhile. Give me your machete. Swish! Chook! This is gonna make some trophy. Leave the carcass for the jackals. Let's get back to camp. Verna, baby, wait till you see what I bagged. Any hunter in the world give his eye teeth for this. Fine, Harry. Maybe now we can get out of the jungle and back to civilization. Look at you, covered with blood, and the smell of gorilla all over you. Burn those clothes before we pack. With the almost ritualistic burning of his hunting garb, Harry and Verna ended their African safari, treasured trophy close at hand. They began their first leg of their long trip back to the U.S. Boom, 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 boom. Biggest gorilla you've ever seen, and white. Some prize, eh? Under lock and key in my stateroom. You should see it. Not tonight, black old man. Huh? Well, I guess that's what I guess that's his last name. Wife and I are turning in early. Hey, what's the matter with them? Maybe it's you, Harry. We've been out of the jungle a week and the scent of that gorilla's still on you, like the monkey house in a zoo, on everything we've got with us. It's just your imagination. You just... Yeah! Harry, what was that? Somebody screaming. Sounds like it came from below. Mr. Black, Captain wants to see you down in the hold. The throb of the ship's engines was the only sound accompanying the beam of the captain's flashlight as it played among the lifeless luggage on a form once living, but now also lifeless. One of my crew smashed like a paper doll. I called you down because apparently he was killed by whatever did this to your luggage. Who could take apart trunks like that? The smell, Harry. It's stronger than ever on this stuff. Since we left the jungle, I've had the feeling something's following us. I don't want to spend another night cooped up on this ship. Don't get hysterical. There's probably a simple explanation. Harry, I'm scared. I want off tonight. Now. All right. We dock in Niaga within the hour. We can get a plane out in the morning. Dawn found Harry and Verna leaving Africa, but not the terror which had overtaken their bringing home of the trophy. Harry, I still got that feeling. Knock it off. You're safe. We'll be in the States tomorrow. But within a month's time, the only reminder of the Dark Continent was Harry's game room and his prize. Isn't it something, Mr. Willis? Took every shot I had to bring that baby down. Harry, don't you ever get tired of showing off that thing? I'm sick of its smell all over the house. Mr. Willis has been my groundskeeper for years. Used to be a hunter himself. He appreciates it. A fine trophy, Mr. Black. Now I'd better make a check of the grounds before turning in. Servants claim someone's been lurking around the woods the last few nights. Thought I'd have a look around. Good idea, Mr. Willis. We don't want to be bothered by any prowlers. Run 'em off. Probably just the servant's imagination. Wait, brush crackling over there. I heard you. Come out and show yourself, now. Mr. Willis! Yeah! Scream came from down here. Harry, there. Willis crushed to a pulp, just like the crewman on the shipboard. Look in the mud around his body. Those tracks, they could only have been made by... A gorilla! I knew it. I knew it. Ever since you took that trophy, something's been following us, following the gorilla's scent. I'm leaving right now. This minute. Our lives aren't safe with a beast like that on the loose. We can bring the police back from town. This is my home and I can handle anything that threatens it. You don't have to go anywhere. Verna, come back. I'm not scared. I can take care of this. Nothing's driving me out of here. I don't care what got Willis. I can handle it. Hey, somebody bring me up a drink. Blast Verna's loud mouth. Servants must have heard her and taken a powder too. I'm all alone. No matter. Nothing prowling around here can measure up to you, right? You big white monster. If I nailed you, there's nothing I can't stop. What's that? All of you haven't run out, eh? Hope you haven't made that drink a stiff one. I feel like... Yeah! No! 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 Pow! Blam! Blam! Ugh. Shots! Hurry inside! Lord, don't let the woman in here. Keep her out! Harry! Harry! Somewhere the sacred white gorilla was on its way back to Africa. Its search ended. But thoughtfully, the prime trophy spot in Harry's game room had not been left vacant. Eee! Tis tis. I hope Harry wasn't too torn up about returning his trophy, but you can't blame the white gorilla for losing his head. Hurry back for my next nerve-numbing issue. You'll, go ape. Alright, guys, and that's it. So we're done with Eerie for now, and we'll have more Eerie later. Don't worry, we're going to continue with these. They're fun. At any rate, this is the Grim Lord, and I'm out, and I'll see you next time on Grim's Comics Corner with more Eerie.